Welcome to the Conscience YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, like this video, share this video with your friends, and go watch some more videos after you're done this one. Make sure to go to owlcreekcoffee.com. owlcreekcoffee.com. Buy some coffee that's disability owned and operated. Use the promo code LiveChat15 to save 50%. Also go to spreadlovesupply.com and buy some clothing that shows the world you're spreading love and not hate. Use the promo code Conscience there and super thank this video. We will see you on the next one. Welcome to the final word with Conscience. My name is Brendan. Brennan Josh. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good.
Fuck, it's good to see you, not just talk to you.
I know, right?
Or talk to a frozen image. Like, seeing your eye moves makes the conversation so much better. What are you doing? What is that thing that you got there that's on your mouth? Is that like a control?
It's a joystick.
No,
a joystick, which is essentially like my computer mouse, right?
So you do everything with your mouth.
Oh yeah.
So you don't like raise your bed with your own finger anymore?
No.
Oh no way! How long has it been since that?
Oh, a year and a half.
No shit. Well, I've been gone for that long, so I guess the last time I was around you,
exactly,
you were still doing that. Oh fuck. Well, that's fucking sweet. How'd you line up this tech?
It's just something that people use for video gaming and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
So that's what
Have
I
you
got.
tried that? You must got fucking lip. You must have got lips of fucking steel, bro. Those lips are getting a workout.
I tried some video games and stuff like that. I'll play some low level games like Tetris and Pac-Man and stuff like that. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, some of the higher level games just require a bit too much like head and neck movement that I don't have. So
right.
This is better.
Yeah, perfect, man. Well, it's good to see you. It's been a couple weeks because last year we had. I forget what happened, but we couldn't do a show last week.
Last week?
Yeah,
my computer totally freaking
your computer totally fucked. So
I had to spend like $800 on new parts.
No shit, eh?
Yeah,
dude, you should if you ever have the money to invest, you should get a gaming computer. I don't know what the specs are, but my computer is a fucking tank. It's a tank of a computer.
Oh, my computer it could game anything right now.
Okay.
I got i9. I got 32 megs of RAM. I got a motherboard.
I don't know what any of that shit means. I
have a Supertron 9 billion. I got the Exilated Sex Fucker 9000.
And I believed you for the first little bit.
I know.
That's fucking classic. Okay, cool. So we got a little show lined up for you guys. We wanted to talk about some famous, polarizing, divisive YouTube characters. Sexy Phil. Although he's not called Sexy Phil anymore. When I first heard about him when I was watching him,
maybe he still goes by. I just don't watch him a lot. I think you're talking about Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, Philip DeFranco, and when I first started watching him years ago. Yeah, and slip that like button or I'll punch you in the throat. That's his new thing. He says hit that like button or else I'll punch you in the throat. He's good, man. I think he's been pretty good at maintaining middle of the road status as far as
entertainment. He's more entertainment than straight up true news, right?
Yeah, and also kind of gets along the gossip lines, gossiping about YouTubers and celebrity gossip. That's part of his skill.
Kim Kardashian got another butt implant, stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I think he covers some pretty meaningful shit too.
He does, right?
Let's see. So the Ethan Klein thing. Let's just watch a bit of Sexy Phil and get a feel for him.
Some people have talked about, like Ethan Klein saying he hopes Greg Abbott's wheelchair hits a rock and he falls out. But 99% of the conversation I've seen online is about the bum stuff. And now I've shown you the core of it. You have the clip that's been shared, the fuller extent. Though, understand, there are people that are angry at Ethan that have seen the full video. With the people on that side saying, no, Ethan just caught himself. He was trying to kind of like fix the situation because he said what he said. It was more about trying to fix the situation so he wouldn't get into trouble. But you have others saying, no, he obviously said something in the moment. It was a stupid joke. It was a bad joke.
Yeah, and he is taking he is kind of taking like a nonpartisan kind of feel to it. But I haven't kept up with his content to know enough like where he stands politically or anything.
For sure.
Maybe we should just look at all.
It was interesting what Philly D said there. I didn't know that he kind of like was joking or.
Oh yeah, he was in the middle of a joke. I saw the full video.
But it's interesting. Okay, see, I haven't. And maybe I should watch it because just saying, what he said is not good. Now, obviously, it's to the point where YouTube took action. So they believed it was inappropriate if they suspended him for a week, right? And he's a big
tried to
YouTuber,
make
so like it's real easy for me to get suspended, like I did for H3H3 for him to get a suspension. It's going to take quite a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, it probably is appropriate. I mean, but okay, so he said someone should bomb the NRA. First he was talking about, hey, what's going on in this NRA meeting anyway? Does anybody have any inside information on what they're talking about there? Someone should bomb the fucking building. And immediately his wife looked at him and he kind of went like, oh, well, I took that a little too far. I got a little emotional. I was just joking. Okay. And then he made then he did like a bit of a comedy bit of metaphorically killing people with kindness, and that's what he turned it into. So he kind of turned it into a big joke. Like, I thought it was actually a pretty fucking good recovery. Sexy Phil, I'm not sure what Sexy Phil thinks about, but
see, I think I didn't see it, but I think if I had said something stupid in that moment, I don't think I would then make a joke. I think I would apologize, like he said. I didn't really mean that. I would say that. And I would say, I didn't really mean that. That was a stupid thing to say. I'm going to move on. I think that's probably maybe the wisest choice of action after you say something so unwise.
Right. Well, and fuck, dude, I get away with tons of crazy shit on YouTube with my poetry. Like, I say some of the worst shit known to man in my poetry, but no one seems to come after me. I haven't been canceled, and like I said earlier, I do political polls like once or twice a year of my YouTube subscribers, and it's like 25% conservative, 25% libertarian, 25% liberal, 25% socialist. It's totally an even spread through everybody, and I think that's that, because I try and look at things through a human lens more so than an apolitical lens, and I think Sexy Phil, that's what I like about him, is that he kind of looks at things through an emotional, personal lens, as opposed to like fierce fact. This is fact. You're wrong. Fucking, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not like that, right? It's more like a more empathic approach.
Yeah.
Then let's say like Steven Crowder. Okay.
Yes.
So like Steven Crowder is a crude son of a bitch, but Landau. Okay. My personal opinion about Crowder is that he's smart. He's very conservative. I don't agree with a lot of what he says. I don't like when he says retarded. I don't like when he makes fun of people for being retarded or whatever. He says that all the time.
He makes
whatever.
A lot of racial jokes too.
Yeah, he makes a lot of racial jokes too, and I'm not a big fan of the racial jokes, but I tolerate it because
I think he goes too far way too often.
Yeah, way too far, way too often, but that's kind of his shtick, right? Yeah. It's like, and once again, we get back to the
guise of comedy.
Entertainment. Yeah, the guise of comedy. Yeah. He's a comedian. He's doing stand-up tours. And what keeps me watching that show is Dave Landau. That guy is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he is funny.
He's fucking so funny, man. And but I tolerate a bit of discomfort and I tolerate a bit of repugnance because I think it's a really well done production, and it's obviously he's trying to fucking be famous and be funny, and I don't know.
The production level on that show is amazing. Like his skits and stuff like that.
I know,
he's sinking money into it.
Oh yeah, for sure he is. Well, he's making tons of money. He's got that mug club where kind of what I'm doing with my website, but I don't make money on my website, but forming an own crew of the really diehard supporters. Yeah. I think it's what you got to do. And what's the other guy's name with the glasses? The skinny guy? He's funny too. Just had a baby, I think.
On his show, yeah.
Gerald
Morgan Jr.
Yeah.
Gerald A. and Gerald B. Gerald B. being the blow-up sex doll.
Well, so let's say you're Steven Crowder. You're a huge conservative. You have conservative values. You're a little inappropriate sometimes. You say racist shit sometimes, and trying to be in good humor. But a lot of people would take that as very, very inappropriate. Me, not so much. I'm kind of a free speech guy. I know. I kind of think he's just joking. I don't think he's actually a real racist or anything. But what do you think he would think of the Ethan Klein situation? You know what? I think this is a good way for the podcast. Let's talk about these famous podcasts or YouTubers and see what they would think about the Ethan Klein situation.
Well, I think he would think that, I think he would point out that if a conservative said this,
Yeah.
He'd be nailed to the wall, not just by other YouTubers, but by CNN, MSNBC.
Right.
He would be probably suspended for more than a week on YouTube, something like that. I think that's.
So Ethan Klein got suspended for a week?
Yeah.
When was the last time Crowder was suspended? Has he ever been suspended for a week?
Yeah, he's been suspended before. I can't recall whether it's been a year or 2 years or whatever.
So I don't know much about Crowder. Like, how did he get what did he start doing on YouTube? What was his first kind of thing? Let's look up
He started like on AM radio. Crowder.
Okay.
He started AM radio. He had a bit of shit going on Fox.
Okay.
He's not a
He
real big
was
fan
on
of,
Fox, eh?
a little bit when he was really young. Maybe a writer. He's not a big fan of Fox, and he doesn't speak well of his time there usually.
Here's an I'm sorry video. I can't find his first video. I can't search oldest first, can I? And I don't want to have to scroll through all his fucking videos.
No, it'll take you hours to scroll.
Yeah, it'll take you ever. Ethan Klein debates Steven Crowder.
Oh yeah, that's.
Welcome everybody to
That's
a
a
very
nothing burger,
special
dude.
episode of the H3 podcast.
Okay.
Today's my first
So this
ever
is
debate.
So this is more
Somebody
clickbait.
that
I mean,
Dude.
I bit of
All
is
Dude, yeah, just pause it for a sec. So it's supposed to be a debate between Ethan and Crowder, and then
Okay.
Ethan just sort of bows out and lets that other guy, Sam Sater or whatever his name is,
Okay.
from the Minority Report, he lets sort of him kind of do the debate for him, and Crowder's kind of like, no, this is not what I agreed to. So nothing really happens.
Was Crowder actually on the show? Was he actually on the show?
I forget. I forget if Crowder actually ever went live. He might have gone live for a few minutes. Trust me, dude, there was absolutely like no debate.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, and it's funny. They're like kind of enemies, like Ethan Klein and
Yeah.
Crowder, kind of like polar opposites. And then there's Tim Pool and Shank Uger, who I watch both these guys frequently, and they have very different points of view. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I followed Tim back in like the Vice magazine days, like way back, because Gavin Mcginnis, that's another one that we forgot to talk about. Gavin Mcginnis was the Vice guy, and he was in Montreal, dude. I'm not sure if it was actually, I may have met fucking Gavin Mcginnis, because that was right like 2000, 2001 was in the very early Vice days. And they were bringing the magazines to Sam Roberts Brothers bar that I used to manage, Pistol, in Montreal. So I didn't hear about Tim Pool right after that, but it wasn't that far after that I heard of Tim Pool, because I always bought Vice magazine. That was my thing, and we always sold it at our restaurant.
Right.
You know, so but Tim Pool, it's funny when you mention like polar opposites on YouTube. Tim Pool, I used to be like, you know, like center, like extreme center, like I'm straight in the middle, man. Like I'm cut right down the middle. And Tim was like that, especially as a writer. And Vice magazine was edgy, but edgy used to be a liberal thing, you know, like, you know, and it used to be. And I've seen Tim move left, and I've seen right, and I've seen Shank Uger move left. It's like they've totally polarized each other. They pushed each other out into the outer limits of the spectrum, which is sad to see, man. Because I find people right down the center, like my dad, for example, are the most rational. You know, you're the most reasonable. I guess rational might not be the word. Reasonable is the word. The most reasonable people are willing to listen to everybody, and I don't think Tim Pool is. I think Tim Pool's defensive. I still watch him, but I think he's defensive. I think he's a little emotional and kind of whiny. But I like his show. I like the dude with the long hair on the show. What's that guy's name again?
I don't know the other dude's names.
Yeah, and the girl who pushes.
But I mostly watch his I don't watch his long form podcast. I watch mostly his 30-minute news stories and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just watch clips. I just watch little clips.
Yeah.
He's a clickbaity guy too. Now Tim Pool
Definitely.
and Ethan Klein got into it huge.
Yeah.
I was working last night. I was talking to you, and on Twitter a little bit there, And Tim Pool instantly back and forth with Ethan Klein about Ethan Klein saying to bomb the NRA, although that was taken out of context. So then Ethan Klein put up a fucking video that was of Tim Pool that was out of context, saying how the First Amendment allows people to have nuclear arms. He was just making a very, very grandiose point, and it was totally out of context.
Right.
And so they both fucking took them. They both are guilty of not fucking listening to each other at all. They're just fucking instant polls, polarized immediately. And that's not the way to do business. That's not the way to do journalism.
Tim Pool has been, polarizing. He's trying to stir the shit, man. That's what I see lately. He's trying to stir the shit. He's trying to get views. Trying to get views. He's not trying to get anyone to
open their mind,
have rational conversation.
Yeah.
Right. It's just all. Yeah.
It's all just clickbait. It's all just partisan shit, and it sucks that it turned into that, man. But one guy that didn't turn out that way is Gavin Mcginnis. I mean, he is a crude, evil bastard, but he speaks his mind. He speaks his mind, and he doesn't give a fuck what you think. And I wish more people were like that, man. Because I'm sure I'm more liberal than Tim Pool and Gavin Mcginnis, and probably you even. But it doesn't mean that I can't fucking just entertain speech and listen to people and take what I want. It's not like I have. It's not like I'm a slave. I don't have to fucking do everything you say and believe in everything you say. I can agree to disagree. Come on.
That's the beauty of free speech, is that I can say my point of view, you can say yours, and we can still be friends.
And we respect each other enough to get through it. And so that brings us to Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur I saw with R.A. Rugged Man, rapper, real aggressive storytelling, consciousness, East Coast rapper, really good. I really like him. I've seen him live with Cannabis actually, and he had so this guy R.A. Rugged Man went on Tim Pool's show, and totally caused a scene. Got Tim Pool so pissed at him, and they were fighting, and he was throwing the chair. It was a mess. And then he goes on Cenk Uygur's show the next week to talk about it, and causes a big scene on Cenk Uygur's show. So I watched the whole thing because I watched I'd say Cenk Uygur and Tim Pool are my main news sources because they're so different, but not extreme right. One Cenk's extreme left, Cenk's extreme left. But I don't really like to entertain extreme right. I'm trying to drift towards the center. But Cenk Uygur has definitely drifted way far left in the. I've been watching him for a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years, and sometimes it's kind of like
the extreme
cringe.
Extreme right just isn't on YouTube. Guys Nick Fuentes and Richard Spencer, the super racist white supremacist.
Those guys just white supremacy. So white supremacy is an extreme right thing. What constitutes that?
Well, what's
the philosophy? How can he call himself right wing if he's racist? Isn't that a whole different thing?
I don't know. It's so convoluted. Yes, he calls himself right wing, and he wants a white ethno state, but at the same time, he actually doesn't believe in free speech, and he wants things like more welfare and stuff like that, except for white people only. So.
Oh my God, that's that's not political. That's just savagely racist.
It's psycho. It's
psycho. And I don't like that. I don't like that those guys. The political spectrum should be for sane people, because very right-wing sane people have good things to say. Very left-wing sane people have good things to say. But then there's the outer limits and the clowns drifting around the outskirts, not fitting into any part of the spectrum. But they get associated. They get associated with the spectrum. So then a guy like Cenk Uygur will call fucking. Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Spencer? A guy like Cenk Uygur will call Richard Spencer?
Richard Spencer.
A guy like Cenk Uygur will call Richard Spencer a right-wing extremist, where a guy like Tim Pool will probably call Cenk Uygur a left-wing extremist, right? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Or AOC or something,
each side, when they want to disparage the other side, is going to point to the worst of the worst that may be
exactly.
In that sort of group, but really they're not in that group. And we talk about these extremists, these insane people. I think it's just I don't want to really hear what they have to say, but I think it's best just to sort of let them talk to the 6 people that want to listen to them, and not try to shut them up, because if you do that, you push them underground. You actually get more listeners
Revolts.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sunlight is the best disinfectant. The best way to show what a disgusting loser Richard Spencer is to let him say it. Let him tell you.
Yeah,
himself.
let him prove it. Exactly. Say all this terrible stuff. Don't say it. Say it so we know where you are, so we can follow exactly what you say and know not to do. And I wish people would take that point of view more seriously. Like, allow bigots and fucking racists to expose themselves.
Yeah.
Then they can be villainized, and if you're an extremist, you can target them if you want.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Russell Brand, dude. And I like watching this guy because he's eccentric. He's obviously an artist. He's very left wing, but he's very, very inclusive with the right wing, with the conservatives, which I appreciate. That's why I like watching him, because it's about harmony with him. Harmony wants to bring them together.
He really wants to bridge the gap. He wants to talk about things with conservatives because he believes most of the issues are not left-right issues. It's like rich people who wanted to kind of just control the world and do what they want versus regular people, right? And that's kind of where I'm landing quite a bit. A lot lately is like, with these like Charles Schwab's, with the World Economic Forum, like these are the real bad people, right? These are the people that are trying to control the world from behind, closed doors, behind curtains and stuff like that. Yeah. And we should expose what they're trying to do, right?
Right. I totally agree, man. And Russell Brand is doing that. And there's no topic that he won't go for. Well, if Russell Brand, because I'm gonna try and label these videos with Ethan Klein, because I feel like it's relevant right now. What do you think? What do you think Russell Brand? What kind of advice would he give to Ethan Klein, do you think, in this situation?
I think Russell Brand would say to Ethan, like, try not to be so, like, divisive, incendiary with your comments. Like he'll probably try and find out. Yeah, he'll probably try and find something that he likes about Ethan and encourage him to do that. I think that's what Russell is.
Where did he start? What was his start on YouTube? Any idea?
It's just sort of comedy.
He was comedy. He was like a vulgar comic.
Comedy, silliness, just conversation.
So I think he needs to get back to his roots, dude. He needs to get back to his roots. And rebrand himself as a comedian more than this like gossip king or whatever.
See, he used to have like serious interviews and stuff like that, but then he had like a few people on, like Jordan Peterson, right? Okay, and so in my opinion, there's nothing too much wrong with Jordan Peterson. But
no, I know people who have been taught by him and they loved him.
Yeah, and there's a segment of the left, unfortunately, that if you have Peterson on your show, they're gonna shit on you. They're gonna call you super right wing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think Ethan, instead of just saying like, dude, I had a conversation, chill out. I think he kind of gave in to the leftist mob a little bit.
Right. So he's changed over the years too.
Definitely.
Russell Brand, what about Joe Rogan? What do you think Joe Rogan would say to Ethan Klein in this situation? Joe Rogan's known as like the uncle, like to all these celebrities. We're gonna get into some comedians after this that I really, really enjoy that you don't know much about. And I want to just talk about that. But Joe Rogan kind of seems to be the big uncle and the advice giver. So if you think Joe Rogan was going to give Ethan Klein some advice over his current situation with getting taken off,
it's a good question because Ethan Klein went after Joe Rogan a bit. He kind of made fun of what Joe Rogan's health regimen and stuff like that, which is just hilarious because Joe Rogan will probably live to 120.
Yeah, or you never know, man. You never know. But
And Ethan Klein will probably have to have a foot amputated at age 60 due to type 2 diabetes. So, I think honestly, Joe Rogan, I think he would just ignore it and not talk about it. I think Joe Rogan
wouldn't even address it.
Joe Rogan's like, I don't got time for this guy. He's a clown. I'm not interested.
And I think that the big difference between a guy like both very successful podcasters, Joe Rogan and H3H3, Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
The big difference is that Joe Rogan's still got drive and Ethan's become lazy. If he got back to his comedy roots, like that's what people want. People, you know who wants the fucking drama, dude? 15-year-old kids. Do they have money?
Yeah.
Is that a business going after kids? They don't have money. Go after 30-year-olds. Go after people your age who can support you and buy your t-shirts and subscribe to your channel and see the 18+ content. I think Joe Rogan, if he was going to give Ethan Klein advice, he'd say, "Yo, man, you got to get back to your roots. You got to start being a comedian again because this gossip podcast, putting your hat on sideways, being a doofus, acting like a lazy pig, is not very flattering." But Joe Rogan also, he mentioned Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee is a comedian, Korean guy. He was on Mad TV.
Okay, yes, I know who Bobby Lee is now. Yeah,
he's hilarious, dude. I love his sweet little sensitive personality. Like he's really, really open. And what happened was him and Brendan Schaub and Kalila got into a bit of a beef. I guess Kalila, it's a bunch of drama about like a guy hitting on a girl, and like it's a big fucking scene, and that's what got me into Ethan Klein. So it's like fucking, it sucks. My introduction, I was like, what the fuck is all this fucking bullshit? But it was kind of interesting, man. You get sucked into it because they play on your emotions. And I like Brendan Schaub and I like Bobby Lee, and I don't know about Kalila, but she kind of seems like the villain in this story. I don't know.
I don't know who she is. Yeah,
she's Bobby Lee's wife. I don't know. I like her, but I don't know if she's.
Dude,
it's about like the.
I know, dude. You know once. Fuck, dude. Are you talking about the incident where Bobby Lee is sitting there with his wife and somebody else, and she pretty much says, like, if you weren't rich, I wouldn't be with you.
Right, and and they had like she convinced him to have like a outer marital relationship with other dudes too. Like she slept with at least one other dude.
Dude, like, dude, Bobby Lee's a cuck, man.
He's a cuck. I think she called him a cuck once.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's obvious. Like that's too bad, man. I feel.
Yeah, I don't know the insides. I feel bad for Bobby. Yeah, I feel bad.
I feel bad for cucks, man. But they make their own bed. They make their own bed and they choose to lay in it. Like,
is it okay?
Like,
let's get the definition of cuck straight. A cuck is when you like watching your woman get fucked by other men, isn't it?
Not just you like watching, but like you're okay with like your wife banging other dudes.
Oh Jesus, I can't imagine that being in that frame of
mind.
mind.
Dude, like
my wife is my temple, bro. she's my Lord and Savior.
Dude, essentially the end of my relationship with Joe was like she's like, I want a girlfriend and a boyfriend. And I'm like, nope, peace, see ya.
Yeah, that's screwed up. I can't get down with that. So, I've never, you know what, man? I've dated quite a few girls, and I've never cheated on a girl once. Just won't do
it. Good.
Not in my genes.
Dude,
not in my
as soon
genome.
as the girl even says I want to have sex with somebody else, man or woman, she's totally lost all respect for the man in that relationship.
But a lot of these new generations believe in like polyamory, and you can love more than one person and have relationships. And people are getting married and like quartets and trios, and I don't know, dude. Maybe we're just old fashioned and a little too conservative to understand that people identify their attraction sexually very, very different than us. We're pretty standard. I think that it's evolving.
Attraction and sexuality. But it's not about conservative or old school. It's 100,000 years of evolution, man.
Yeah. But
if you're fucking another person, you don't love the other person.
Yeah.
And if you're having sex with a bunch of different people, you don't really love any of them. You're not really committed to any of them. You just kind of like having sex with a bunch of different.
Well, I guess that really comes down to what is the definition of love? What is the definition of love?
Yeah. Yeah, but
What
if we're
does love
talking,
mean? That's what that question is.
what is love? Baby,
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't
No
hurt
more.
me no more. Okay, Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee is great, and he rolls with a guy named Theo Vaughn. You don't know about Theo Vaughn, but Theo Vaughn is probably my favorite comedian. We got to watch some Theo Vaughn right now. I just
Sure.
got to give you a taste.
I've seen quite a bit of Field on.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I just like his jokes.
I wouldn't say I follow him, but over the years, I've seen 30, 40 videos for sure.
Oh, this one's called White Privilege.
So, I grew up in my neighborhood. We didn't have a lot of diversity in my neighborhood. Diversity is always people's talking about it. And we didn't have it. You know, my neighborhood was poor black, poor white. That was our neighborhood, you know? So I didn't feel any white privilege. I know some people had it, man, you know? I knew some motherfuckers with sweaters. But I was 2 tank tops in the winter, okay?
It's classic.
And I just didn't feel it, you know? I wish I'd have had some white privilege, dude. Sign me up. But I didn't have it, man. It was just poor black kids, poor white kids, man. And my poor black friends would always be like, man, look what you did to us. And I'm like, dude, do you think I would do all that shit to y'all and then move right next door, bro? Now, we gonna split this plum or not, dog? We're in this together, man.
Oh, that's good. He's fucking classic. Are we gonna split this plum or what? Oh, it's so
And dude, that's so
good.
true, man. There are lots of
dude.
forms of privilege, especially in North America. Hell,
Yeah. Dude,
North
we
American
lived in the
privilege
projects.
is privilege. North
Yeah,
American
it is.
privilege is privilege.
American privilege,
Because
North
as
American
poor as-
privilege.
As poor as he was, he didn't starve to death in
No, he
fucking
didn't starve to death.
Bangladesh either, right?
No kidding. Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
We're very lucky in the Western world.
Yeah.
All in all, I think people. You know, I mean, there's been some fuckers and lots of
Yeah.
the violations and misconduct, but I think all in all, over the last couple hundred years, our leaders have done all right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's because we're so able to be vocal about it. You know, what do you if you watching that just to put this together, to put this whole podcast together? What do you think Theo Vaughn would say to Ethan Klein? I'm going with the comedy bit, dude. Like, get back to your roots.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He'd probably say something funny, and I'm not as funny as him, so I'm not sure what he'd say.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they say. Maybe they won't even address it. You know, maybe they won't address it. I don't know. But yeah, seems like, you know, with school shootings and fucking, I understand, man. It's an emotional world right now, and that's why we need comedians. That's why we need comedians. So Ethan Klein, if you're a fucking comedian, start being funny, dude. You're not being too fucking funny right now, are you?
No, he's not. He's not being funny.
Start being funny. Okay, that brings us to some conservatives. We're gonna talk about 2 very conservative people and 2 very liberal people next. Ben Shapiro. What do you think Ben
The
Shapiro would
most
say to
liberal
Ethan
guy
Klein?
I know.
Oh yeah, no shitting, man. I like watching him because he's just so. It's sometimes what I'll do is you taught me this actually, to put the video up a little faster.
Yeah, you can't do that
And
with Ben.
No, well, I do, and it's hilarious. I listen to it in the truck, and I think it's so funny. I just think he's an entertainer, man. So he's super conservative. He's a Jew. He's got his own points of view. I still watch him. I watch everything, dude. I watch Jimmy Dore. I gotta start watching. But Sticks and Hammer, we're talking about too. But if you were gonna, Ben Shapiro, super conservative, super right wing, super pro gun, super everything. What do you think he's gonna say to Ethan Klein? He's probably gonna tear a fucking strip off Ethan Klein on it for weeks probably. This is probably gonna be ammunition for Ben Shapiro for fucking a year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Ben Shapiro gets into the shit flinging, but if he was, he would definitely riff of the new one. He would again say something similar to Crowder. If this was a conservative, he'd be crucified.
Yeah, and that's probably true. That's probably true, man, which is weird. It's crazy.
Yeah, he would probably say, that he's, Shapiro likes to talk about good and evil. He'd probably talk about how Ethan Klein is evil and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'd probably brand him as a devil worshiper. Yeah.
something like that. Like something.
Ben Shapiro,
as,
it's so extreme. Like Tucker Carlson too. Like I love. I don't agree with them. I just love their presentation. It's so fucking arrogant. It's beautiful. It's like because this is not how these guys are when they're in their home with their family. He doesn't talk to his wife like this and like a million miles an hour. This is a act that they've both formed. A persona to be directly infective and to be remembered. It's like sociopathy, dude. It's like narcissism. Like Ben Shapiro, arrogant narcissist. Tucker Carlson, arrogant narcissist. Ethan Klein, arrogant narcissist. I don't know. Yeah,
possibly. I know there was like some court case brought against Tucker a while back, and pretty much his defense was like, I'm a online TV personality. It's a persona. Yeah. And like you can't like take what I say as gospel. So
right, exactly.
I thought it was a bit of a cringy thing to say, like, because he wants to be, I think, seen as serious at times.
Yeah, well, definitely, man.
But then
he does the fakest laughs ever. He goes in that crazy little fake laugh that he does all the time. Yeah. Fuck.
So, I mean, Tucker, I think he's smarmy and slimy and gross, but you know what? I've seen him talk about certain things. Like, I've seen him talk recently about technology, and he said he would ban driverless 18-wheelers because it would put 10 million Americans out of work. Just the way he talked about it, he genuinely seemed that he gave a shit about the average working American family. So at times, I think Tucker, it's a smarmy shit, but sometimes I think he's pretty, kind of decent too. And
I think it's just an act. I think it's just a big act. I think it's
maybe,
just a big
but stop being technology to keep people working in blue collar jobs. That's a liberal talking point.
But I think that's
the leftist talking point.
I think it's inevitable.
I know it's inevitable, but the fact that Tucker is supporting a leftist talking point is really interesting.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
And he's a union guy too. I think Tucker's a union guy.
Yeah, he's covered some of the shit at Amazon. It seems like he wants a union at Amazon, right? He was on with Shapiro, and Shapiro and him were disagreeing big time.
Yeah. I don't know where. I don't consider Tucker that he gets labeled as a far right. He doesn't cover always the most mainstream topics either. He's kind of got his own agenda. Here's what it is. Like a good documentary would be like, who is Tucker Carlson? Because with him and Ben Shapiro, I think that the face that we see on the internet is just an act. It's just a character. So you can't be so sensitive to what they say. It's just they're just entertainers. That's all they are. They're doing what I'm doing. Like they're doing the exact same thing as me. They're just fucking narcissists. Maybe I am too. Matt Walsh, speaking of narcissists, he's a self-proclaimed narcissist.
There you go.
Have you seen Matt Walsh? He did this book. I forget what it's called. Johnny the Walrus, I think what it is. And it's about how the kid wants to transition into a walrus.
Okay, so he is on the. This guy's on the Daily Wire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I know who he is. Sorry, I sometimes forget people's names. Matt Walsh is super right wing,
extreme.
Even more so than Shapiro.
Yeah, probably more than Shapiro. For sure.
Yeah.
He's real responsive. If someone rips on him, he rips on them, and that's healthy. I think you should be able to rip on each other. Fuck them. Why not be able to rip on each other? Why not be able to make things that are disgustingly horrible? I just don't get why we don't encourage the horrible nature of people that come out. Why don't we just deal with the horrible nature of humans? Look at my poetry. My poetry is fucked. If you read my book, 200 years after I'm dead, if someone reads that, they're going to be like, what the fuck was this guy on? And I'm allowed to do it, so everyone should be able to do it, I mean, I'm not so out front with my worst poetry. You know, but Matt Walsh does whatever the fuck he wants. He's offended a lot of trans people. I don't know what to say about that because I know intentionally. Yeah, I know some trans people. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, dude, because I have no idea what they're going through. I just try and be supportive because that's just the human thing to do. I don't want to. I think they got some serious mental stuff going down, dude. If you're thinking you're another gender, that cannot be easy on the psyche.
100%.
You know, like I am empathetic for them because I have no idea what that kind of struggle must be like to not identify. Like, I'm a man.
Right.
I got it easy, dude. I'm a straight white man. We are straight white men.
Why do you have
we're diseased. We're diseased, but we you know we.
What do you mean you're diseased?
Schizophrenia.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. Why do you think straight white men have it easier?
Well, I think because there's more of us than any other men. That's
in North America, yeah.
In North America, yeah, there's just more straight white men than straight white anybody.
Right.
Or anybody else. There's just a bigger population of them.
So you think
they wield more power?
Okay, do you think straight white men have it easier than straight white women?
Not these days, no.
Okay, yeah, because I would say by almost every measurable statistic, women have it better than men.
I worship women, dude. I worship women. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with women.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with women, of course not. But by every, I mean, I like women too. But by every measurable statistic, women have it now better than men. They live longer. They're healthier. They're more educated. They're less likely.
I think that makes up for years of child population enslavement. You know, being pregnant for 30 years, your entire life you're pregnant, then you die at 48 after having 12 kids. You know, okay, let's let them take the reins.
Is that enslavement?
No,
that was just the way we had to propagate.
Yes,
the fucking species.
It's human nature. It's human nature. But I think now that the world is so populated. But I think now that the world is so populated and technology is so advanced and the population is starting to decrease, I'd love to see more babies. But you know what? I have one, and I'm just like, that's good. I don't need more than one kid. You know, I got snipped, dude. I got fucking as soon as I have my one, I'm just like, okay, he's healthy. I'm snipped. He starts school in September, so you know, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, it's expensive to have kids for sure.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's very expensive.
You don't want to have children irresponsibly, so I admire that.
Yeah.
But for sure, I don't believe the lie that the world is overpopulated. I don't believe that for a second.
There's lots of space, dude. I look where I live. You could house a lot of people in these lands, dude. There is lots of places. It's the cities. Cities are the problem. Cities are the problem.
Cities are a problem for sure.
Fucking everybody's got to get the fuck out of the city. Why are you all flocking to the fucking city?
100%.
Like go do a 10,000 person town an hour away.
Dude, I honestly believe we're at like high 7 billion right now.
Yeah.
I see no problem with us reaching 70 billion.
70 billion.
No problem.
So what do you think?
That's still not overpopulated.
Okay, so let's do Matt Walsh, Ethan Klein, and Matt Walsh to people who don't want to have babies. Matt Walsh, what would he say to Ethan Klein right now in this current situation?
Don't want to have babies.
Or Ethan Klein, whichever one. Yeah, whichever you want.
Okay,
he'd probably say get busy, people, baby.
Yeah, exactly. To Ethan Klein, I think he'd just call him a fat loser. I mean, I think like pretty much. Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true.
I think that's what Walsh would do.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what he'd do, and that'd be it. Oh, that's fucking classic.
He'd be like, why am I listening to this idiot that's hemorrhaging YouTube followers, right?
Yeah. And he'd probably say to people who don't want to have babies to get busy and be a good Catholic or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me about Jimmy Dore? I don't know much about Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore, dude, he's a pretty dude. He doesn't think Bernie Sanders is far left enough.
He doesn't think what?
Bernie Sanders
is
far left enough.
Okay, Bernie Sanders is pretty left.
Yeah. So, like, dude, he is, but he's also super free speech, right?
Like
Once
an
you
old
get
school
that
blue
far
dog
left,
liberal.
yeah. So once you get that far left, you usually get some anti-free speech, right? But so he is big time. Like, if you're, here's one thing that Jimmy Dore really pushes that I disagree with, even though I agree with a lot of stuff he says. Pretty much, if you're a rich billionaire, you're evil, right? You've
Okay.
had to have done something wrong to become a billionaire.
That's his stance, eh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What do you think Jimmy Dore thinks of Elon Musk? He thinks he's evil? Providing African
Well,
villages with internet?
So I think he's got mixed feelings on Musk. He's a big free speech guy, but yeah, he he doesn't believe that Musk is as altruistic as he is and things like that.
Right.
He sees him as a big greedy, oligarchical type capitalist.
Okay. Huh. I have to check out Jimmy Dore because I like people who take extreme views from either side to form some kind of center based. What I realize is now that I watch all these podcasts and I have this like overload of information, it's just like wow, I'm reassessing everything I know as far as politics goes because I'm hearing so much more information now. It's like an information warehouse that I just get to swim through.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's making me smarter, I think, all these podcasts, so it's a good thing. Jimmy Dore, I will definitely check out. And we were both mentioning Sticks and Hammer, too. Sticks and Hammer 666.
Yeah.
He's like a goth dude from from Holland? Belgium?
Well, he's in Holland right now, but he's from Virginia. So, like,
okay,
he's like a Virginia.
And that's where
like,
Tim Pool lives, right? And that's where his compound is, I think.
That neck of the woods, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like a very, he's like libertarian to the extreme.
Okay.
Except for when it comes to immigration, he thinks there should be borders. Like, true libertarians don't believe in borders, which is something I don't understand about libertarians, but whatever. So he's very far left on certain things, like pro-choice, right? And then he's very far, what some people would call right, when it comes to guns. He thinks people should be allowed machine guns and rocket launchers.
Wow. Well, and because the First Amendment was scripted, because it was to be in the inevitable outcome that the government takes over and it's to protect itself from a tyrannical government. Right. Second Amendment. To defend yourself against a tyrannical government.
Okay, I need a few minutes here to tell you what I believe. I like guns. I think every person...
I like guns too, dude.
I think every person should be encouraged to carry a gun. I think every person should be highly encouraged to know how to use and maintain that gun safely.
Yeah.
I also believe that people should be allowed machine guns and rocket launchers because I believe the Second Amendment is there to protect against a tyrannical government. The government has way more powerful weapons than rifles, AR-15s. People talk about the AR-15 like it's a military weapon. That is the biggest fucking joke in history. If the U.S. military went into battle with AR-15s, they get shredded by the goat fucker Taliban. That's what I'm telling you. The Taliban has more fucking superior firepower than AR-15s.
Okay.
AR-15s are a boogeyman. They're fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I shot a 22 a couple weeks ago for the first time, and it was tons of fun. It's like a souped up pellet gun essentially, and it was fun as hell. Like I think I don't know. I could see like handguns for self defense, but I don't know about machine guns, doing semi-automatic rifles. I don't know about that. I don't
machine
know.
guns. Dude. Okay, I'm gonna help you out here. Okay, and if I come off as preachy and condescending, I apologize. AR-15s are not machine guns.
They're automatic rifles.
No, they're not. They're semi-automatic.
Okay.
Which means you pull the trigger once, and one bullet comes out, and then it doesn't fire again until you pull the trigger again.
Okay.
The media does this fucking thing where they call it sometimes fully semi-automatic. Fully semi-automatic is
It's
not a
almost like
thing.
an oxymoron.
That's like saying a fat free cake with butter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah.
The AR-15, why people don't like it is A, the way it looks. B, it's extremely popular. Why is it extremely popular? Because it's extremely customizable. It's got very little kickback. Because quite frankly, it's actually not that powerful of a weapon. It shoots bullets very fast. Yes, because the bullets are actually a pretty small caliber. The reason why people think they're machine guns is literally just the way they look. And also, people get really good at fucking pulling the trigger really fast. And it kind of sounds like a machine gun, but it's not.
Right. I don't know. I guess when it comes to that, man, I'm so uninformed of the entire situation. It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have. But I'm glad I'm having it. I'm glad I'm learning about it. You need a suction probably, eh?
I kind of do, actually, yeah.
Okay,
Should we call it quits here?
Well, you know what? We just got to the last person we were going to talk about. So why don't you take care of your lungs and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good, brother.
I'll edit all these up tonight while I'm at work. I'll have this all uploaded by the time you wake up tomorrow.
Sounds good. I just want to say one more thing for people watching. AR-15 is a brand name. It's Armalite. It does not stand for assault rifle.
Oh, it doesn't, eh? Really?
It's 100%, dude. It's a brand.
No, you learned something every day.
It's a brand name, just like Smith & Wesson, just like Walther, just like Glock. It's a brand name. AR is short for Armalite.
Yeah, there's lots of misinformation everywhere, and having conversations like this is the way to cut through the bullshit. This is the final word with me and Josh, having honest conversations about whatever the fuck we feel like it. So we'll see you next week. Peace out.